So again, plastic surgery is rooted in capitalism and patriarchy. Y'all can tussle in the comments and shit, but there's literally evidence. So
are the most beautiful creatures in the whole world. Black people.
I'll always be there for you whenever you need me.
This for the little homies.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you can't tell by the title, today we're going to be talking about cosmetic surgery and if it really is for women. Now, the short answer to that question is no, it's not. But obviously, since this channel is big on facts, I'm going to back that up with articles, facts, etc., etc. I do want to preface this video by saying this is no way, in any way, shape, or form trying to shame women that get cosmetic surgery, because I am kind of gonna focus in or hone in on BBLs in particular. But we're all brainwashed. Like, we're all brainwashed, bro. Like, we really are. Like, there's no way that I have a leg to stand on as far as shaming other women for doing things that we all have been brainwashed to do. So yeah, it's just kind of breaking it down because I didn't know this. You know what I mean? When I was doing my research, and I feel like a lot more people should know this. So we can all just kind of be aware of like what we're really doing to our bodies and what we're doing to ourselves. Okay, so I obviously want to start off with beauty standards and how it affects our choices. I want to reference an article titled "The Confession Mirror: Plastic Images for Surgery" by Carol Spitzak. This was written back in the 80s. I did get this article. I watched this recent YouTube video by the podcast Woke or whatever. Shout out to them, big up them. Like, their podcast is amazing and it's phenomenal. And when they linked this under their episode that I watched, I was like, this is such an amazing article and it's a really, really good read. It is 13 pages, so it's a lot, but this breaks down beauty standards, power dynamics, like everything that we have to deal with in today's society. Mind you, this was written way before the 2025s. You know what I mean? So this is very relevant to what we're going through right now. She starts out the article by letting us into the room with the doctor and the patient, right? What it looks like for like the doctor and then the patient who's coming in asking for work. She emphasizes how cosmetic surgery is a clear example of how modern power works and how people treat their flaws as an illness that needs to be treated, right? So like when you go to the doctor and you're like, I don't like my nose, can you fix my nose? Or I don't like my hip dips, can you fix my hip dips? Like, you're telling the doctor what you don't like about yourself, and then the doctor lets you know what can be done to treat that disease or that illness that you don't like. So you're literally showing the doctor what is wrong with you while the doctor is telling you the cure to fix whatever is the issue or what is wrong. So the system will select what is powerful and what's not powerful. She also talks about how like the system in place, the system that is in place, letting us know what is powerful and what is not. In order for that system to work, the hierarchy, people in high positions and people in low positions need to work together, because if you don't work together, it just won't really work. So the high people in power need the lower people, because that's how they push out that whatever, or that's how they select what is powerful and what's not powerful. And they both influence each other in a way that keeps them connected, obviously. So it's a constant back and forth. Now, this is my favorite part of the article. Now that we know that power is not necessarily something that is just chosen by powerful people, and it's literally the system that selects what is powerful and what is not, she goes into the beauty standards and how that integrated or created the system as to what we deem as powerful and what's not powerful. So in the 18th century, our body were only viewed as sexual objects. That's not new. You know what I mean? We already know that. So when medical care and social discourse were taken into consideration for women, our bodies were always seen as diseased or weak because we are only sexual objects, if I'm making sense. So the whole Adam and Eve thing, with Eve eating the apple and dooming the entire mankind, cursing the entire mankind, that made it worse, because that kind of created the need for putting women under surveillance, because not only are women these sexual promiscuous objects, but they are also a danger to mankind. Like if you leave them on their own, they might, you know, do something to harm us or men, literally. So we were seen in the 18th century as a threat to men. So the Adam and Eve story is kind of what caused the constant need for scrutiny and constant and heavy surveillance, right? That's why there's so many laws. That's why there's so many things that prohibited us from doing simple things like owning a bank account or being able to buy a house on our own. We needed to be surveillance because we are a danger to mankind and we're only good for sex. So why do you need a house? I like that she included this in the article because it opened my eyes a little bit and let me know, like, dang, like the beauty standards that we have right now literally were not created by women. They were created by men. So the whole idea that women are only sexual objects literally came from men. So the fact that we're only good for sex, or like that's the only thing that we exist for, it blew my mind, because it's like that just makes so much sense. And I feel like that kind of shifted my brain a little bit, because it makes me more aware as to how I speak about myself, my body, and as well as like relationships with men, how I interact with men. Because it's like at the end of the day, even little things like saying a man is using me for sex is literally giving power to that patriarchal system that we're only sexual objects. Like that's the only thing that we exist for. So because we're seen as these sexual objects, obviously you have to look good. Women have to look a certain way to be desirable. You know what I mean? So like now we have to make sure our hair is always done, make sure we have our skin together, make sure our body is right. So good health is also tied into looking good. Taking control of your life means you are taking steps to look better. You're going to the gym, you're getting filler, you're doing Pilates, you're doing yoga, you're putting on makeup, you make sure your hair is always done, you make sure your nails are always done. Like those are things that equal good health, and those are things that also show that you're taking control of your life, because you're making sure that you look good at all times. She referenced Mary Daly, where Mary did a investigation showing that there's a historical connection between feminine sexuality and clinical discourse. And again, her research also amplified how female sexuality was defined by men, mainly by men, and not by women, which I find interesting, because it's like, how are we, or in the 18th century, I just can't understand the audacity of men. Like, you're not even a woman, so how do you even know? Like, it, anyway. And when we get to talking about cosmetic surgeries, I liked how she referenced the Chinese practice of foot binding. Because I remember, like, I learned about that randomly, like when I was 12 years old. I don't know what I was doing on that side of TikTok, but I found it. And foot binding is basically the practice in China where they literally basically break your foot to make it smaller, right? And that is deemed as beautiful, that is deemed as luxury, that is deemed as high class. Whole time they're literally disabling themselves to be deemed as beautiful, because of the patriarchy. Men saw that as beautiful. Men set that beauty standard, so that's what women did. And that literally parallels with cosmetic surgery right now. We see the Botox, we see too much filler, we see the terrible BBLs. Like, women are literally disabling themselves for the sake of looking pretty, for the sake of being beautiful, for the sake of feeling sexy. So in this case, now we're linking feminine sexuality, being deemed as beautiful, being deemed as pretty, hot, oh, I want to do something to this girl, is now tied in with health, right? The more sexier you are, the more healthy you are. Crazy, right? And she also adds in, like, when you go to the doctor and tell him what you want, it's seen as like empowerment almost. It's not seen in a negative light at all. Again, you're taking control of your life because you're trying your best to look pretty. You're taking care of yourself. And it's to the point where now even refusing surgery or refusing cosmetic procedures is now seen as like denying healthcare. And refusing to change or alter your body is seen as you don't care about yourself. Like, you want to stay ugly. So again, reiterating how power is not through repression or keeping things, but through the illusion that you have choice and you desire these things. So you have the choice to get it or do it if you want to. going back to when you have the choice to fix a feature on your body, like getting a BBL or getting a rhinoplasty, it is met with approval from society because it is connected to self-love and strength and health. Another thing that I find interesting that she added in this article was marketing with cosmetic surgeries, right? Cosmetic surgeries are marketed to everybody. Like you can go on YouTube, you can drive down a highway, you're gonna see a billboard or a commercial about a rhinoplasty or a BBL or filler or face reconstruction or face balancing. Like you're gonna see a lot of it. I know personally I do see it a lot. And I found it interesting how she basically said like cosmetics procedures are marketed to a mass audience, but other forms of medical procedures are not. You know what I mean? Like something that would help someone, I don't know, like with gut health, that's not necessarily marketed to the mass audience. You know what I mean? Or something that will assist somebody with ADHD or focusing more, that's not necessarily marketed to the mass audience. Or making sure that your blood levels aren't too high, or making sure you don't get diabetes later on in the future, that's not marketed to the mass audience, but cosmetic procedures are. Kind of puts into perspective, like, we don't want you healthy, we want you to deform yourself to make you feel like you had the choice to do so. Cosmetic procedures really are marketed to the mass audience, but other procedures that do actually bring health are not necessarily marketed to the mass audience. Now, the second part of this article was an amazing read, okay? Like, after I read this, I was like, wow, girl, you did your big one. Clark that tea, honey. So she decided to, the Arthur Carol Spitzak decided to go to the doctor herself to see what it's like the confession mirror, that's what it's called, to see what it's like to actually go through the confession mirror. And the confession mirror is basically like you're confessing your issues to the doctor, and then the doctor is letting you know what can be done to cure it. So she booked a consultation and immediately was sent brochures and list of banks that are willing to provide loans to help her get the help that she needs and deserves. So like, it's literally obvious that it's not about your health, it's about money, capitalism. People need actual help, right, with health, whether it be like blood transfusion or just something that you need done. You know what I mean? It's not necessarily, it doesn't come easy. And this is very obvious because I used to work in healthcare as far as like for health insurance in the back end. And a lot of the times these people would get denied for x-rays. You know what I mean? But this lady is booking consultation for a rhinoplasty, and they're sending her list of banks that will fund her rhinoplasty because it's the healthcare that you deserve. Like, let's be for real. And I love how she adds in like the conversation that she has with the doctor, because it literally shows like the confession mirror happening. When she went to the doctor and let him know, hey, I'm trying to get my nose fixed or done or whatever the case, the doctor lets her know immediately that most people are unaware of their problems. And it's like, it's the word choice for me. You know what I mean? It's the word choice. What is the problem with the nose that I was born with? The doctor also notes that her nose is not feminine, and she may have inherited her nose from her dad. Somebody please let me know what the fuck a feminine nose is. Like, please somebody show me what a feminine nose is. Like, what does that even mean? And he also mentions her skin may also be an issue that he is willing to fix. And this is interesting because when I watch like a lot of the YouTubers and my fave influencer girlies that I watch, like obviously a lot of the influencer girls, especially in that like in the entertainment industry or the content industry, like a lot of them start getting work done, and they obviously like record it, they obviously vlog it to kind of let their fans know like what it's like to get it done or whatever the case. And every time like I'm watching a vlog and they're like talking about their consultation or their interaction with the doctor, or even when they're vlogging it, like you can literally hear the doctor being like, oh, we can fix this too, or we can fix this too if you're willing to do it, or you can fix it, like trying to make some more money. Like, baby, nothing needs to be fixed. Like, what are y'all even talking about right now? But you know what? I get it, capitalism. And now she ends this part of the article by saying she doesn't believe that people in the medical field are necessarily at fault for controlling how patients see themselves, or they're not literally the ones that are controlling that. She also reiterates how like nobody forced her to go in for the consultation. Nobody forced her to sit through all of this. Nobody forced her to answer these questions from the doctor. Like she just went in with her own free will. She ties that back to the beginning of the article by saying that alone demonstrates that the real power of today's system of control is what they make us do to ourselves without anyone having to force us. And that just, again, goes back to the beginning of the article when she's talking about how power is not only executed through powerful people, but it's executed through systems. So again, you can believe that you went to go and get your rhinoplasty because you wanted to and you've always wanted to get a rhinoplasty, but realistically, the system brainwashed you into believing that's what you should get because your nose is not pretty or your nose does not fit the standard. Whose standard? So again, plastic surgery is rooted in capitalism and patriarchy. Y'all can tussle in the comments and shit, but there's literally evidence. So okay. And I do want to kind of to add more like relevancy to the conversation about like the confession mirror and like what it's like to go to the doctor and what that actually looks like and what the doctor is saying. I do want to reference one of my favorite influencers. I said that with the little D because I don't necessarily watch her too heavy now. But I used to watch her heavy like when I was watching YouTube. I started watching YouTube at like 12, 11. And there's just some many influencer girlies that I was watching. And obviously like watching them from like 2012 to like 2025, you obviously see a shift of like everybody going to get work done. And I'm going to reference Sophiology now. I like, as I mentioned, like a lot of the girls that I followed as far as YouTube and Instagram, the influencer girlies, like at one point, no matter what point it was, they all went to go get something done, whether it was something small like hip filler or if it was something as grand as a rhinoplasty or a mommy makeover. You know what I mean? Like every single influencer girl that I've watched thus far definitely has gotten something done, like veneers, something, like somebody went and did something, even if it's small. The only reason why I want to reference Sophiology though is because she's the only one that showed it raw. Like she didn't really hide the pain that she was going through or how hard it really was behind the scenes after she got her work done. A lot of the influencers that I watched just kind of show the before and after and then be like, I'm happy with my results. While Sophiology literally goes in depth of like all the things she had to buy before the surgery, after the surgery, the massages, how painful the massages were. Like she literally gave us the whole nine. And I feel like anybody that is wanting to go get surgery, because she got a lipo 360. Anybody that's wanting to get surgery, you should definitely watch Sophiology's vlog because she literally gives it to you raw. She gives it to you real. She doesn't sugarcoat it. She doesn't just be like, oh yeah, it's just nice and sweet and candy. She lets you know this shit hurts. Like it is painful. So yeah, I'm gonna insert some clips that I felt like was important to see, and that also kind of amplifies the confession mirror thing.
You hear the laundry machine going. I'm washing my sheets that I'll be using to recover. I'll be throwing them away right after because she explained it's about to be a mess. But here's what my setup looks like so that it doesn't get ruined during my recovery. This is going to be my place for like, I don't know. But I plan on throwing all of this away. The blankets, the one that's in the dryer, the pillows. Girl, suffering. My mom's been here taking good care of me. I'm so uncomfortable. I'm about to go lay back down. Probably take a nap before my massage therapist comes. These massages are brutal. These from Ross. I would have completely damaged my clothes. My massage therapist is coming. Massage is gonna kill me, but shouldn't use words like that. The massages are always brutal, but I always feel better afterwards, so. It's been pretty hard to stay positive. People have been telling me that. Oh, stay positive, but like, look, too much pain, not comfortable sleep for multiple days, so much nonsense, bleeding, bruising, Beauty is pain, though. Before you become beautiful, you must be ugly, because this thing has really humbled me. Mind you, wearing a bralette, whatever, is not ideal. It hurts, but I'm doing that just to be modest for YouTube, obviously, you know. And then I'm gonna wear these PLT sweats. I'm hoping they don't hug my waist too tight. Oh, because that hurts like hell. Oh, everything hurts right now though. Oh my God. Okay, you got this. These are really oversized. Like, I would never wear these if not for recovery, but they feel good.
I got lipo 360 with J plasma, which is a skin tightening procedure from the inside. And then I got fat transferred to my hips. I was very, very insecure about, what do they call that, saddleback fat? One of my thighs was just so super pointy. And the doctor was able to explain that from losing weight, I just had thin, loose skin on my hip / thigh area. So it caused the fat to get like stored in a very weird triangular fashion. And I was so insecure about that. I've gotten fillers to try to fix it, that didn't work. I tried a bunch of stupid stuff that did not work. And eventually I just decided to have the surgery because of that. And since I was already going on the table because of that, I'm like, hey, just make me a Barbie, okay? Now, realistically, he said, Sophia, you're not gonna be a Barbie in 1 round. Most people that look like Barbie dolls are getting 2 rounds, 3 rounds, 4 rounds if they're not managing their results. It's possible to maintain perfect results after 1 round, but most of the time when you have a body like mine to where you've lost weight, you're overweight, I've never been pregnant, but if you have had children, you're probably gonna need more than 1 round of lipo. Another thing he let me know was I had this very deep cellulite in my leg that I was very insecure about. And he let me know that 1 round was not gonna fix that. I would need multiple rounds or a filler or something.
Okay, so now that you guys saw the clip of Sophiology going into like, you know, the raw of like getting not BBL, she got lipo 360. I want to talk about, because we're gonna have to talk about mortality rates and the dangers of BBLs. And it's also still going to tie into the confession mirror still. Like, that article really opened my eyes and enlightened me in a way where I now see things for exactly what they are. When I was doing my research, I was looking, like, scanning through so many different articles, trying to find like the risks and the dangers of a BBL. But I feel like what made me realize BBLs really are dangerous is B. Simone. Again, I'm a heavy YouTube vlog watcher. So when B. Simone was doing her baby girl TV, I was watching that heavy. And there's one vlog where her sister got a BBL, and that opened my eyes. That let me know right then and there I will never get any work done. But the reason why I watched Sophiology stuff vlog wasn't necessarily because I wanted to get work done. It was because I'm a subscriber, so I'm gonna support the girl. But this vlog, the B. Simone vlog that I'm going to show you guys, obviously was released way before Sophiology decided to get her work done. So I'm going to just show you guys some clips that I feel like is super important to see.
This little bitch wanted to get her ass done and lipo here. I took her to the emergency room, called the ER twice. It was, okay, but can you put this back up? She's been digging wedgies for a week. Look at her face. Put your head up.
Is it still swollen?
Yeah, no, don't touch it. I've never in my life experienced anything like this, ever in my life. The first night, I thought my sister was gonna die. I'm not even being dramatic. I was so scared. I called the emergency room. But we made it. God is good. And after seeing this, I won't be getting lipo. Oh, and today is a great day. Easy breezy compared to day one. Keep walking.
The plane ride has been hell. Stiff as a board.
Not
I was in so much pain in the morning. She was walking so fast. I was like a mile behind her.
And then I put her purse on the floor because I'm holding everything because she can't hold up. piece of lint. Now whining. Why would you put a $3,000 bag on the floor?
But she already says she doesn't take care of purses. So I'm like, you don't take care of yours.
Bitch, worry about why the you're waddling. Worry about this purse. I knew she wasn't being dramatic because when you're dramatic, you're not gonna hurt yourself.
Yeah.
She was like,
she said, was that really?
It was so I was like the devil.
It was terrible.
And then the nurse said, you're breathing, you're talking.
The nurse said that?
I wanted to punch her in her face.
The one that she watched me have it?
Yes.
She was the worst. Evil.
She said, you're breathing, you're talking. She's like, I've been doing this for 8 years. I've never seen anybody wake up like her from anesthesia. It's just anxiety. She's fine.
Was that the one?
She gave me you in a piece of paper. I was like,
she rolled me out.
So she's bleeding.
This is you in the church. She said, here you go. You do what you gotta do what you do. See ya.
Y'all, it's funny now. It's really not funny. If you're thinking about getting surgery, you need to look in the mirror and love yourself.
For sure, I would not.
Look, she got it. She loves her body and she's still recommending don't do it.
If I could go back, I would never have done it.
I said, if somebody paid you $1 million to do it, would you do it again? She was like, $1 million's a lot, but I thought I was gonna die. She still is contemplating. Like she said if she could go back a week from now, she would go back and never do it.
For sure. Wasn't worth it. But I look good though.
And I want to reference an article that I did find talking about like BBLs and what exactly they are. And I feel like this article is so important to include because it just ties back into the confession mirror, how doctors speak about cosmetic surgery in order for people to get it done, to get the work done. Literally using words like, okay, so here it says risks and benefits. What are the advantages of a Brazilian butt lift? There are many advantages to having a Brazilian butt lift when performed by a qualified and experienced plastic surgeon. First, the procedure is safer than other surgeries, including silicone butt implants. The effect looks natural. The effect can last a long time. It can boost your self-esteem, and your clothes may fit better or more comfortably. Do you notice how there's nothing about health in here? I'm not no damn doctor, but there's nothing here talking about health. Like when you simply look up what are the benefits of going to the gym, your memory gets better, your cardiovascular health gets better. Like the gym helps you in as far as health as well, also helps you for when you get older. You're not gonna struggle going up the stairs. You know what I mean? Does a BBL help with that or not? Like it's very obvious that the root of cosmetic surgery is literally money, especially tying it back to the whole patriarchal system of beauty standards. Women did not come up with those beauty standards. So like, let's be for real. And then let's say my self-esteem is not boosted. Now what? Do I get my money back? Like, can we be fucking for real? This whole entire article is just a confirmation of the confession mirror article that I read. Like, they're just speaking, like if you were trying to get a BBL and you stumbled upon this article, this would do nothing but affirm your decision, and you're gonna definitely get it done, because this really like speaks not necessarily highly, but like it kind of like sugarcoats the real kind of risks when it comes to it. I do want to reference another article because I do see sometimes some people, you refer to the 2017 study where it came out that the mortality rate of BBLs is 1 in 3,000, but this study was flawed. Now, the article that I found on Dr. Skolman, plasticsurgery.com, he debunks that and basically lets us know that yes, the 2017 study was 100% flawed. And there's a 2019 study that came out that showed that the mortality rate for BBL was actually 1 in 15,000. So that is obviously very different from the 1 in 3,000 from 2017. But this procedure is actually safe when it is performed correctly, right? So ain't no trying to get your BBL done for $1,500 in Atlanta. Ain't no trying to get your BBL done real quick in Miami. Like, you're gonna have to spend some money if you don't want to die.
I actually wanted to get a BBL like when I was like 20, and I was in a group in the Dominican Republic, and we were all going to the same doctor. But something in me was telling me that don't go to this doctor. It just wasn't sitting right with me. So I booked the ticket and everything because I was feeling body. I had saved the money, 4K cash. One of the girls was in my group. She had a mummy makeover, which is like a breast lift, tummy tuck, and BBL. And then I got a phone call the next morning that she had died. This is real life shit.
He also uses like an example of how basically BBL is safer than a tummy tuck, technically, because for a tummy tuck procedure, the death risk is 1 in 14,000, which is less than 1 in 15,000. So, I mean, yeah, true. Now, he does let us know what exactly the risks are as far as BBLs and what can happen or what causes the death in people when they do end up passing away, unfortunately, from having that procedure done, which is fat embolisms. And fat embolisms is basically when droplets of fat travel through a blood vessel to the heart, lung, and brain. Obviously that will lead to death, like obviously. He also adds in like what can be done to avoid that possibly, how basically the surgeon needs to be very aware of the location of normal blood vessels in that area to avoid accidental injection of excess fat into those vessels that may end up transferring your fat to your brain or your heart. And then he also talks about ways to minimize the BBL death rate. This article I appreciate a lot more than the previous article that I was referring, because they don't sugarcoat it. They don't do the whole your confidence will be high, your clothes will fit better bullshit. Like, they give it to you straight, what the risks are. You can die if you try to go the cheap route, but if you go the more costly route, you'll be all right. And I did add the Madame Joyce clip to kind of add perspective, because there's still many women that unfortunately pass away from these cosmetic procedures. And again, tying this back, the beauty standards, we're getting these cosmetic procedures for a beauty standard that was not even created by other women. They were created by white men. And we still follow the most to this day. Like, we're so cooked, like we're brainwashed. And it's like to the point where this type of brainwashing, like they really did their big one, because it's like, how in the world can you not necessarily, because they're tricking us into believing that we have a choice. We're doing this to ourselves because we have the choice. But in reality, it's like, no, you're doing this because you have been propagated into believing that you should do it. And even with the Sophiology thing, like, I was shocked that she got a BBL, because I'm like, girl, your body is banging. Like, what? She had the hip, she had the bum. And I mean, I understood her point with like the whole not really necessarily feeling confident with the way her hips were shaped. But there's nothing wrong with that. Like, there's many women who have those hips. That's what hips look like. Like, that's literally what hips look like. Natural hips, at least. Anyways, I'm glad I read that article. I'm glad I watched that podcast episode, because Woke or whatever y'all are doing, y'all big one, like that really opened my eyes. I implore you guys to go watch that episode as well, because they go way deeper. They don't just talk about BBLs, they just talk about beauty standards, period. It is a bilingual kind of vibe, so you are gonna have to turn your English captions on, but please do, because it was a really good episode. Anyways, I'm gonna end this video on that note. I thank you guys so much for watching. Go ahead and let me know what else you guys want me to talk about in the comments. And yeah, I thank you guys again for watching. Thank you guys for loving me. Thank you guys for commenting. Thank you guys for subscribing. I'm almost at 3,000 subscribers, I think. Almost at 3,000 subscribers. So thank you guys so much for liking my videos. I'll definitely be back with so much more. And on that note, I'll end this video with nothing but peace and love, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.